get a random IT lower third down in the middle. I'm just kidding. We're jumping into the game. Fanny getting immediately banned out by RSG, just respecting Yahiko's Fanny. And we're taking out all the assassins, Lancelot off the tables as well.
So right off the bat, we are already looking at goodbye Fanny, goodbye Lancelot. So already, assassins that are taken away right off the bat. But once again, some of the other crucial bans that we always want to see are heroes such as Baxia, Angela. Every now and then, some people will also look out for Alice as well. I'm not too sure whether any of these heroes or any of these teams will care too much about Alice, but Chip, let's not forget about that too.
Let's hear from the crowd. Make some noise for yours truly.
That's going to be a CC that's going to be joined into the fray, or rather joined out of the fray. Goodbye to CC. We do have RSG that's taking a little bit more time for themselves to kind of understand, okay, what have we learned about them? What have we learned about this? But one thing that I want to mention about is Bong once again, right? Because Bong, he has been very flexible in the gold lane.
Yeah, three different types of gold lane heroes. You got the mage in the Lunox. You got the
such a flexible guy.
Fighter gold laner in the CC, and you got a traditional marksman with the Granger. And I think KSG actually works very well with the traditional drafts. Either going in for a long-range gold laner, at least you have some opportunity and time to scale and get your items as fast as you can. So the CC getting banned out. You get the Baxia being banned out as well. Angela taking off the tables once again. There's a 100% ban rate onto this little fairy that we see. Won't see it a lot of day actually. And the juice in. So first pick Kimmy, or going into the Alice might not be a bad idea for RSG as well.
So in the meantime, here we have finally going to be the first pick incoming for the side of RSG. Yi Sun-shin is currently open. Other than that, Chip is also another hero that is open, so it could go either way. But if they do want to prioritize on the Kalia, that is something that they can look into as well.
Yeah, we're seeping into dangerous territory right here. First pick will dictate the rest of the draft. Typically, that spot, if Yi Sun-shin's open, we snap pick the Yi Sun-shin up, but I don't know if PTBL is comfortable with playing that one. Typically, he always goes for the Fredrin, but right now, he's feeling comfortable, he's feeling good about himself, he wants to win this game, and he's going for the Yi Sun-shin.
Okay, so understandably, when it comes down to PTBL, he actually haven't really played any Yi Sun-shin games.
Yeah.
So this is interesting, right? PTBL never played any Yi Sun-shin.
He typically goes for the Fredrins, he typically goes for the tanks and the lances.
Yeah, Lance is currently 4 times that he has picked so far, but this will make it to be 6 unique heroes for PTBL thus far. Something new from the side of RSG, I gotta have to say.
Will it be a tit for tat? Lance already banned out. Might be going for a little bit of a different jungler this time around. And I think Yahiko really wants to get his hands on the assassins instead of the fighter or tank junglers. Kimmy and Gatsukacha, we've seen that quite a bit from Stallions, and I think Gatsukacha has been resurging, no pun intended, from the roam position, able to get that taunt up, able to get a lot of zone denial capabilities, and healing everything back up, dishing out a lot of damage, and he's one of the few roam heroes that you can just build defense and still dish out a lot of punishing damage onto the marksman. So I think the KSG has a very good starting point.
But from this point on, the other things that I can look out for is more catch, right? Kalia can still be picked out here. Farsa is also available too. Or otherwise, they can go for Lunox. And Chip actually leaked over to RSG. So they will focus onto the Chip. So this is all about micro games for RSG. Perhaps, I think that, let me think. Lunox in mid, I think that XP gotta have a little bit more utility here in order for them to, start team fights or rather come in and follow up right after the Chip opened the shortcut.
Yeah, difficult to champion the Chip once it's in the jungles. Early game potential, RSG, they have it. They have a lot of early game bursts as well. Late game potential is there. Just not a lot of follow-up setups. So yes, you can get the portal. Yes, you can get the stuns off from Chip, but then you can get disrupted easily by the Gatsukacha as well as the Kimmy, who has a lot of area zone denial. So it's a very risky position that RSG wants to put themselves in. Uranus is already banned out. What's left open is maybe even the Ruby or the Grangers, the Arlots in the EXP lanes. That's going to be quite highly contested for both sides. Both sides still opening up their EXP and their gold. So everyone's already picked their jungle, roam, and mid. It's going to be options right there. All out's getting banned out. RSG could very well go into a double fighter side lane. At least they have, they have PTPL in the jungle with the Yi Sun-shin. So that is insurance damage in the late game.
They are not afraid of going double fighters here, especially since if they play chip, they would want to have some tankiness, right? Tankiness, the moment they come out of the shortcut, you want to be able to launch yourself into action almost immediately. Fast game kind of thing. So any XP laners that have instant gratification is going to be very good. Esmeralda is not exactly the hero that I'm thinking of. I'm more onto Ruby. Because the moment you come out of the moment that you kind of come out of your shortcut, you can immediately start to spin and lock people down.
Yeah.
So that is definitely one of the good things. Lapu is great for initiations because of how tanky he is and so much survivability that he has, but he lacks of that instant gratification that I would want.
I do agree with you. I think Ruby would be the best pick right here for RSG. At least you have a little bit more mobile side lanes. You're able to ditch the wave, try to join in the team fights, and empower PTPL to do their thing. There's going to be Bane getting banned out right here, so RSG doesn't want to risk it, especially with the magic damage coming in from the portals, able to disrupt everything right there. And then that's the Alice getting picked up. The TOR is going to be a huge problem for the portals.
So aside from that, let's take a look at what are the heroes that Taurus is able to play for. Okay, we don't have to look at it anymore. It is going to be Yu Zhong. Oh.
Yeah, call it the double fighter side lanes. This is their own rendition of it. There's a Yu Zhong onto the EXP side, and maybe a Lucas down on the gold lane. Yeah.
Okay, I can understand Lucas, he's got good damage, but this is very damage-centric with not a lot of utility.
I mean, we've seen a Moskov in mid lane today. Anything can happen. It could be a Lucas down the mid side, and then Lunox goes back to gold, which is more reliable and structured, but then they're super, super tanky. Anyone goes into portal, everyone just gets decimated and blown up to smithereens. KSG, last pick, that's going to be the marksman. I think what is the safest route could just be maybe a claw, just get out of harm's way with that. But they want to go double fighter anyways. So there's going to be a claw in the gold lane as well.
Okay, so this is going to be a brawl game coming in from these two, huh? Everyone just going to be fighting all the way through. The good thing is that King's SG, they do have a lot of crowd control that will be able to help them answer some questions. My only problem is that they picked up a Cho. However, they do not have anyone that can make full use of the Cho's kicks.
Yeah.
You know, displace and kill immediately. But no
Except
one can kill
for
immediately.
Hayabusa, though.
I would not count it.
Fair point. Fair point.
Because you kick, everyone else can just run straight over to whoever's been kicked, right?
Yeah.
So you transfer that Ukichara kill.
Difficult reliability from that Cho. I feel like Ruby would have been a better pick, but maybe King's SG is cooking something strong with this one. Because it's still single target anyways from that Cho. And to match himself up against... Okay, so it's going to be the Chip and the Roam. It's going to be jungle. Wait a second. It's going to be Ash with the Yi Sun-shin gold lane. Would it be...
Huh? I mean, this...
I'm just thinking, I'm just theory crafting right there. It's much slower in the gold lane, even though
it's still okay.
He gets more gold.
Yeah, it's still okay, but it's slower. And he would not technically be able to, you know, snowball a lot better. Technically speaking, you are kind of forced to play kind of how Bruno would play. You wait for opportunities instead of creating those opportunities for yourself. Which technically, I feel that creating the opportunities as a Yi Sun-shin is way, way better.
Yeah, Lucas as well is a very snowbally hero. Needs to get the ball rolling, needs to get something moving before anything happens. But on the bottom side, though, you can see Yi Sun-shin clearly struggling against that Cho because you don't really have that long-range, reliable damage. Hoki taking a lot of damage as well. Not the very reconnaissance-heavy kind of playstyle. And Ryzen just free hitting from the backside. Here comes Hayabusa, and the Yahiko just drops everyone down to the ground. 2 members down for the side of the RSG Singapore, and KSG just free hitting. That's a triple kill right off the bat from Ryzen.
Yeah, right off the bat, right? 1 minute in, and there's 3 kills credited over to King's SG already. Boy, oh boy!
Happy anniversary or happy season anniversary. That's going to be the Cho.
Happy decade.
On top of PTPL. That's just crazy. A lot of damage coming through. Iron Ryan is right there, keeping Bong out safe.
technically speaking, because of the fact that there is such a crazy amount of mobility from the side of Kings SG, I would say that it's kind of good because kind of good for RSG to kind of feel that Yi Sun-shin into the gold lane because now he's not in that big of a problem.
I think they wanted to flex the Yi Sun-shin. It takes a bit more time, so typically 1 minute 50 seconds. Yi Sun-shin already has a Mountain Shocker. You're able to give that vision, which helps Chip quite a bit. Because then you can see where your opponents are. You can make informed decisions before committing into any of these big kind of skirmishes. Hoki already struggling to get that level 4. Ryzen's already level 4. Iron Ryan is right around the corner. Toro's right in that dot push. Yahiko right from the backside. Jumping in, taking a lot of damage onto Ryzen. Immediately shuts Ryzen down. Let's shut down Gold over to the Black Dragon. And Iron Ryan barely making it out alive, able to survive. The Shard Residue will heal Toro's back up. Good find onto the Kimmy.
At this point in time, RSG, SG do have the do have the priority over the turtle, but I don't think that it's gonna do too much for them at this for now because Kings SG, they will just jump right in.
Oh, Yahiko with the steal! Oh! That's the pride that we're looking for. Was Rugi Shadow to kill to take 2 members down, make that 3 as Kings SG slowly and surely decimating one after another. Murphy's Law really came through. Anything that can happen will happen. And RSG Singapore, 2 minutes on the clock, already underneath the turret and getting shut down.
This is a tough game for RSG. And unfortunately, the entire team is just getting wiped out. The snowball potential that they would want out of Lucas is now just in a really tough spot. Because ultimately, we are no longer going to be able to see too much out of from RSG anymore because this is a snowbally team. They want to play in the early game. But Lucas can't do anything and Ash is stuck in his lane. What can they possibly do here?
Well, identify the win conditions. PTBL is a little bit too slow with the farm. Right now, Yahiko is 1-0-5. It's PTBL. Slowly needs to make his way up. It's a very snowball hero. If he doesn't get that snowball going, he won't turn into an avalanche, and everyone's just not going to be intimidated by that. Lucas slowly getting that farm. He's 1,000 gold behind this Hayabusa, and Yahiko is really starting to ramp up.
At this point in time, it's just kind of like a normal snow slide, right? It's nothing dangerous and nothing to be really concerned about. The Kings SG is just making full use of the entirety of the map, right? They took a couple of pot shots over the energy turret in the middle. They took some in the bottom lane as well. So good amount of gold that has already been credited over to them. With 3.2 thousand gold to them, I think that they should be pretty happy about that.
A little bit of scratch training from Kings SG as Bunboy Reborn, healing everything back up with the heals. Kings SG already in position for the next round of the game. Doesn't know where Hoki is, but Iron Ryan definitely sees that vision play down the tri-bush. PTBL still struggling to get that farm up and running. Yahiko's already 2 levels ahead. Murphy is also down low. That's level 5 onto 2 levels down. Yahiko stealing away the purple buff. Maybe. Oh, no. PTBL actually secures that. But without the Yi Sun-shin,
he didn't even use his retribution as well.
Honestly, without the Yi Sun-shin, they are struggling quite a lot. The Sorrow gets a reset. Black Dragon form comes out.
Yep, and immediately just going to be flying around the skies. At this point in time, he's just going to be putting himself right in the face of Iron Ryan for 4% to just dash right onto him. While the Ogi Shadow kill is also going to be executed. Not a single kill has been credited just yet, while PTBL claims the kill onto Yahiko, while Taurus gets pulled right into the epicenter when it comes down to the traction pulse. He did not stay alive though as Bunboy Reborn joins in the fray. He's going to be tanking a lot, while Iron Ryan, he gets himself running away. Bunboy Reborn, he's just doing what he can. The triple kill now credited over to him, and may potentially be able to get himself a Maniac right here. Would he be able to do so? Well, it's going to be tough. PTBL, he makes a run for it, and now Kings SG, they lost a couple, but they claim them all back.
I think the Black Dragon is definitely causing a lot of trouble for Kings SG in the early stage of the game. Once the Dragon comes in, Kings SG just hiding within the turrets. Yahiko made a very good call just now using the Iriki Shadow kill, but he doesn't have that Shadow to dash out of the way. The only issue is I see with RSG Singapore is they have to drag this game up to 20 minutes at least for Ash to really come online. This Yi Sun-shin is supposed to be a maniac and a monster in the jungle because it's much faster farming. I would have thought that the Lucas would have been much better down on the gold lane. It's instead, at least you're able to match yourself up well with the Cho. But right now, it's harder for you as an Yi Sun-shin to do your melee and range kind of attack damage that you would have in the jungle. And it's not really free farm. You're fighting against another lane opponent.
So with a total of 3,700 gold lead for Kings SG, and 6 minutes into this game, it's only a matter of time for Kings SG to just kind of huddle up together even more and try to take down some of these objectives. Because understandably, they will want to get more economy for themselves, right? And that gonna have to come from either the objective, the turrets, or more kills.
You see where Hoki is. They know where Bong is. This portal being laid down. All 5 members. The Goose Squad is here. The AOG.
Immediately, that's just not going to be allowing them to run onto Bong, and Bong is going to be sniped down almost immediately. We do have the Black Dragon that is just going to be emerging out of nowhere, because right now, RSG, they took one and they're happy. But Kings SG said that, hey, no, you don't take one and run. So we're going to be coming back right with you.
Beautiful counter re-engage. Iron Ryan read that like an open book, just holding on to the AOG until the portal comes up. All 5 members just coagulating around Bong, and at the end of the day, Bong didn't even go down.
And now, right back to the middle lane. Does seem like Taurus is having a real tough time, receiving so much flack for 4 members.
As Yahiko, a little bit of a poke battle down underneath the turret range. But Kings SG, 4,000 gold ahead. You got the turtle being spawned up in 7 seconds. Kings SG has that Cho as a loose member, able to just find that flanks and make sure that these side lanes are being occupied as we speak. The issue with RSG's draft is it's very greedy. You need to be able to have Yi Sun-shin to farm up. You need to be able to have Lucas to scale and snowball. Both of them need kills. And it's very, very difficult for them to split those kills and objectives down to these 2 members.
With the turtle slain once again, that is going to be the 3rd turtle for Kings. The next one will come up as the Lord. Understandably, mid lane is going to be the next target. That's a very big target that's been painted onto the T1 and middle. Kings SG, they're just waiting for the opportunity to arise. While RSG, I don't think that they have got what it takes to really stop that. They do have pretty good wave clear though, so even I wouldn't be surprised that RSG would be able to hold that middle lane T1 for extended periods of time.
Yeah, Kings SG is just opening up that map, giving a little bit more vision to where Yahiko is. Gameplay is very, very simple. Bomboy Reborn starts things off with a TOR, and then Kings SG just tries to decimate every one of them. Ryzen as secondary damage, but it's all magic damage. Yahiko's come in for the cleanup if he so wishes. So it's difficult for RSG to actually contest if Kings SG has a lot of counter engages and counter plays towards this portal. Taking a look at the itemizations, it does look like Kings SG has a lot of the core items already built up. Endless Battle will be the next item building up for Yahiko. The Curse Helm as well as the Oracle already built for the Alice. It's going to be very difficult to take down as 4-0-5 on Bunboy Reborn as well.
It does seem like PTBL have decided to rush straight for the Hunter Strike despite kind of losing in the early stages. Would have been much better if he stayed with the Fury Hammer and the building to War Axe. But in the meantime...
Ooh, good kick. Good traction pulse.
It doesn't seem like things are going to be going any way better for RSG, as we do have the AOG lands right underneath the T2 turret. More than enough for them to scatter the entirety of RSG SG.
Kings are very structured. Yuhiko also goes in. Ash able to dash out just in the nick of time. Won't be able to commit the Wiggy Shadow kill, but Kings SG has other priorities in mind, taking down all of the resources that RSG holds dear.
At this point in time, Kings SG, they will be doing whatever that they can to take down this Lord. And RSG, they have no way to kind of take this down, right? Because PTBL is currently at level 10. Let's compare to Yahiko level 13. There's a 3 levels gap, and that retribution count, retribution change, or rather retribution difference, cannot fight it.
It's a very, very risky pick off here with the Sun-shin gold lane. In theory, it kind of works, but it's very difficult to pull off, especially since you're facing off against a fighter gold lane in the form of Cho. Very sneaky. You get a lot of damage being hit up. You got Endless Battle actually built up, but I don't think it might be enough because you don't have a lot of farm as in Sun-shin.
We still got a couple more times before RSG starts to get a little bit more, I would say, power spike to themselves, right? Even though they are more slated for the early stages, they are still a team that has a lot of damage in their mix, right? The moment that you kill one, there is still 3 others that can do damage to you. Kill 2, there's still half that they can do something to you. Murphy is going to be a very good answer to dealing with Bumble Reborn and Iron Ryan. Let's remember that. Taurus can essentially split up the fight to ensure that Ryzen is being taken care of. There's so many things that RSG SG can actually do, so we can't exactly count them out just yet.
Hoki throws on a portal, but just wasted that valuable resource just to tank against this Lord. They're desperate trying to find any kills that they can, but King's SG already 10,000, almost keeping the 10,000 gold ahead, and damage from Ryzen is starting to really hurt every one of the members of RSG Singapore. And not only that, Bomboy Reborn just starting things up. We got Black Dragon Form going into the back line, but taking a lot of damage.
I don't think that they will be able to engage with this. Ran a little bit too far, and RSGs kind of take that more of a zoning tool. But unfortunately now, because of the fact that the Black Dragon Form has already been used, it's currently going to be in cooldown for about 50 seconds. So Kings, if they were going to force for anything, now's the time.
You don't really have the minions to force an issue down the turret base, just waiting for the next Lord to spawn in the next 70 seconds.
It will take a little bit time for the RSG to eventually pop up, but eventually it's more about getting control of the Lord.
Actually, Lee Sun-shin isn't doing as badly as I thought. It's just highest gold. It's just that he doesn't have that free roam or free farm that he actually needs from the start if he was a jungle. If he was, you know, if it was an Lee Sun-shin in the jungle, it would be easier for the chip to set things up because he already has that burst damage. Whereas Lucas needs to really have that ultimate on hand and unleash the beast before anything goes south.
It's still not going to be easy though, because comparing the fact that Yushin is the highest gold, right? But it's still at 7,100 gold, and that is equal to Iron Riot.
Slowly turning into a library once again. Very, very quiet on the side of King's SG. That's how they like their castle to be. And RSG Singapore just hunkering down on the base. There's nothing they can do. It's just intimidating by King's SG. And if you play a chip and you're intimidated like that, you can't really find an open bush. You can't find an option for you to go in for an ambush. But there is still a chance. 10,000 gold lead for King's SG. If Hoki is able to find any loose members at all, then it might flip the script.
And chip is kind of made just so that you have got good information as well as good ways of rotations. But that's not something that RSG can play because there's no way that they're going to be sending themselves right into death's door. So anything, if anything, chip currently completely useless because the portal just doesn't do anything for the team anymore.
Lord taken and secured by King's SG. Just waiting a couple of seconds before the Lord spawns in, marches down the mid lane. As RSG Singapore just slowly hunkering down on base. It's a very, very slow game, a slow day in the office for RSG Singapore.
As they slowly make their way, at least for the Lord, right? Slowly make his way down to the bottom. It's all about slowly choking out RSG. Make them have no creeps, make them have no base. Nothing that will allow them to even try to find a way to come back.
Not only that, they have to face up against Bomboy Reborn, the monster down the EXP side. Just healing everything back up, setting things up with a TOR. Gordo will crash down the bottom side. Kings taking down the mid-tier 3. As RSG Singapore doesn't want to make a move. They don't have that range, but the Black Dragon Form initiates.
A little bit off timing considering the fact that there wasn't much that they can do with that zoning potential. The Lord is currently marching down. We do have a wave coming down to the bottom lane, in the middle lane as well. In the meantime, Iron Ryan's just going to be slamming right in, but unfortunately, they are just going to be tickling them. And as I said, the shortcut is not going to do anything. As such, the entirety of King's SG will just focus onto the core.
Very dominant game. RSG Singapore, I think everything just broke down in the draft. Difficult to execute, difficult to just perform, especially with the Lee Sun-shin in the gold lane. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter because the lead was way too far ahead. It's King's SG really showing us what they're made of. They really want to stay in this competition. It's going to be Iron Ryan. Setting things up, okay.
Yeah, we got to give credit where credit is due, right? The entirety of King's SG played phenomenally right here. Albeit it's not exactly a very difficult game for them per se. They just gotta have to play it out, do what they know, and you know, end the game just like that. Because RSG doesn't seem like they have got any ways to kind of come back in that game.
Yeah, out of the entire seeded stage run, I think RSG has only taken on one game out of every single game that they played. I think it was 12 games total. 1 game won, 0 games, 1 game won, and 11 games lost. But right now, RSG Singapore really desperately trying to fight their way through. I think play it safe, play a very traditional draft, and don't try anything fancy, don't try anything funky. It will be a bit difficult, but it's easier to execute, and at least we get a closer game this time around.
Yeah, so ultimately, I think that game number 2, we will definitely expect that game number 2 will still go over to the side of King's SG, because this is actually quite dominating, right? It's dominating, but not exactly like the kind where we saw from Stallions, for example. They just don't just ride it in, give total disrespect kind of thing. There is still very methodical operations coming in from Kings SG in the way that they win the game. They are more calm and reserved.
Yeah. But, you know, huge respect over the Kings SG. All of them played to the T, even 2 minutes, or less than 2 minutes already aggressing down on the purple buff, already taking down 3 members, early triple kill over the Ryzen that snowballed everything to oblivion and beyond. PTBL is just not having a good time, not having good farm, and you're playing a snowball hero. You really need to be able to actually snowball and turn yourself into an avalanche, but no kills. Or, you know, very little kills that he can actually achieve. Out of the 5, he's only got 2. At least he's got something in his pocket.
Yeah, so all in all, I would still say that, you know, all things considered, Taurus did whatever they can to soak in all the damage, but to see that he is having difficulties in tanking and difficulties in dealing damage. I mean, to be fair, it's nothing too surprising. Kind of lost the lanes and lost the wave. They gave an early triple kill, and then slowly after that, close to a maniac for Bun Boy Reborn as well. Not the best way to open things up, especially since your team kind of wants to play that snowball strategy.
Yeah, especially for the chip though. I think the chip was a very good pick, and I